Let's make some spring crafts. For this one, I got these teeny tiny clay pots. I got them from Amazon and they are so very cute. You might be able to find them somewhere else for cheaper. I thought they were a wee bit expensive. I have this foam cone from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to glue this green felt to it. I got this sheet of green felt from Walmart for 30-something cents. Now I wanted to show you my inspiration for this. I saw this terracotta pot wreath, and there are all kinds of terracotta wreaths on Pinterest. And you know how you're looking at a pin on Pinterest and then below that pin it'll show you other pins that are similar? So I thought I was going to do the wreath, but then I decided to do this tree here because I've seen so many of the wreaths, but I haven't seen very many of these terracotta trees. Of course, after I made this, I thought maybe I should have made the wreath because I do really need a new spring wreath for my front door. For the base, I'm going to use this terracotta saucer. And I'm using this Beacon 3-in-1 glue for this project, and it worked very well. So I'm just going to randomly glue these little terracotta pots on the cone. Learn from my mistake if you ever recreated this and space them out to begin with. I was gluing them way too close together and I ran out. So I broke a larger pot and used some of the pieces, although I ended up covering most of the pieces with moss because I didn't really like the way the broken pieces looked, but it worked out in the end. So now I'm going to fill in all the spaces with moss, and I'm just mixing a couple different kinds from the Dollar Tree. And I did end up covering most of those broken pieces that I put on there. And that glue worked so well. Whenever I tried to pull off some of the pots to spread them out further, I could not get the pots off of that felt. The little pots looked a little too new, and you can skip this step, but I just took some watered down burnt umber to age them up just a little bit. I have this berry garland from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to remove the berries. And then sort of like I did on that one egg tree I made for Easter that one time, I'm just going to put this on the outside, just sort of free form. And I took a little bit of this toasted marshmallow acrylic paint and just put some highlights on the pots. And that's it for this craft. I really love how it turned out. It's very rustic. You could make it a little less rustic, a little more clean looking, just whatever matches your style. This is just a quick reminder that if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. That way you don't miss any future videos. For this one, I have this decor piece from the Dollar Tree from 4th of July, and I'm going to give it a few coats of truffle chalk paint. I bought this rice paper just to give it a try off of Amazon, and I really liked it. And I printed off this bird image from the Graphics Fairy. And I'm Mod Podging that in the middle of this bottle cap sign, I believe you would call it.
Are you happy without me here? Are you smiling?
I have this thrifted frame here. I'm going to put this scrapbook paper. I just secured that to the backing with some extra strength glue stick that I got from Walmart. I really love this scrapbook paper. I would love it as a wallpaper.
hide a tear. Oh, how often I wondered whether you have forgotten me altogether. Are there moments
Using some air dry clay, I'm making a few eggs.
when you regret that you broke your vow? Tell
And I took some Spanish moss that I got from Amazon, but I think they sell this exact brand at Walmart. I'm just hot gluing a base layer of this down.
me truly. Oh, Caroline, are you really happy now?
I decided that the brown paint looked a little flat, so I'm giving it some highlights of some European Gold Rub and Buff. I decided to paint the eggs blue, but I didn't have a blue that I liked, so I just mixed some moss green and a little bit of this ocean blue by Waverly. I hot glued those eggs down, and then to make the Spanish moss a little more secure and also to glue in some pieces of this more brown moss here, I just took some Mod Podge and dabbed that in there. I glued the little bird sign down, and then I glued a feather below that. I really like this piece. It's a little bit quirky and a little bit, you might say, ecological, but I really like it. I wish I had one of the feathers of the exact bird that's pictured there, but I didn't. That would have been neat. Okay, let's have fun with coffee filters. I have these unbleached natural coffee filters that I got from Walmart. They are in this distinct, shape and have this folded pattern on them as a coffee filter. And so I'm just spraying them with water so that they will calm down and flatten out for me. Once those dried, I folded that in half, and then folded it in half one more time. And I'm just cutting off the bottom of each of those and then cutting a slit in each of those pieces. I also rounded the tops. I forgot to round the top of the first one that I did there, but it was okay. It didn't really affect the look of it. And I'm just hot gluing and pinching and turning this onto this skewer here. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just sort of winging it, just gluing and pinching and just keeping an eye on it, making sure that it's looking the way I'm wanting it to look. Those little finger protectors are a good thing for this project because that hot glue, there's no protecting your fingers with that hot glue through that paper. The first one turned out okay, the second one turned out even better, but the third one turned out worse than the first one did. That's the thing about crafts like this, where it's sort of a technique that you learn and get better at the more you make. So I think about 20 roses in, I would have it down pat and they would be looking good. But these are my first 3 attempts.
Let me tell you most sincerely, I love you so very dearly, and by this I do not merely mean.
You do not merely mean
that my heart will never be old. But for you, for now it's freehold. Other girls shall not call me old. We shall not call me old. We read the tea leaves in your cup of tea. Your cup of tea. What the future holds, therein you'll see. Tea leaves tell me, tell me, tell me, what my fate will be. Oh, tell me, will the one I love be through all the while? Though it seems no longer the style, will she never or forever make my dreams come true? Please tell me,
I really liked those, but I thought I had a lot of these coffee filters, and I'll save some for future projects. But I was really loving the look of them and the color of them. And so I thought I want to make a really big flower. So I am just winging this, and I got one of these little plastic bowls from the Dollar Tree. They come in a multi-pack, I think of 4, but I'm not sure. But this is very cost effective. And I glued 3 on the inside of the bowl, and then I glued 3 or 4 more on the outside. And anytime I had a spot where it was just flapping open too much, I would just put a little dot of hot glue and press that down. I have these ping pong balls from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to hot glue this to the bottom. Now this hot glue did melt that ping pong ball a little bit, and I was okay with that. I took a skewer, and like I used on the last flower, and I jabbed it into the ping pong ball. Now, once I got this done, I realized immediately that I should have used the jumbo skewer sticks that you can get in the summer from the Dollar Tree. And so if I had to do this again, I would definitely use one of those, because this regular size skewer looked kind of silly. It was too small as a stem for this really big flower. I just sort of took a few more filters and pinched them in the middle, and then glued them at the point down in the center of the flower. There's probably several ways you could go about making the center of the flower there, and you could even put something in the center there to, there's several things that you could do. This flower is pretty big, and it would be really cool to get some white coffee filters and then stain them different colors. I loved, this color really matches my style, and I love that I didn't have to stain them. Getting these natural coffee filters like this, they were already a color that I liked. But you could see making a few of these and putting them together and using them as party decor. There's lots of things you could do with these.
will she be just my love? No one of my love. Please tell me, do. Fairy castles I'll build round you. Once inside my heart I found you. With ideals I would surround you too. With ideals I'll surround you. You pitch castles in the air. With cottages will not compare. Without you.
Okay, this one ended up being sort of a fail, but I'm not sure. I have this arch sign from the Dollar Tree that I got this year. The paper was being stubborn, and so I just sanded that and attached some brown paper. So this will be the back, and I'll use the back as the front of the sign. Although now that I'm thinking about it, I could have just covered the front with what I was doing. If I was going to sell my crafts, I would be more likely to take the time to get that paper off of there, wet it down, and really fight with it and scrape off that paper, but I don't sell my crafts.
Love for me to share with you. Without true love to share. Shadows on a
I've got these legal size file folders from the Dollar Tree. I like to get them to print sort of larger signs. And this will be a printable. In the description box, it is a quote from the Velveteen Rabbit. I just cut that down and then Mod Podged it to this sign. I splurged a little bit and finally got me a silicone mold. It's from Redesign, and I got it from Amazon. It was a little pricey at around $20, but I really love these trim pieces that it has. Okay, this is where the fail sort of comes in. I have this really old air dry clay, and it is starting to dry out already. I do work it with my hands and add a little bit of water to soften it up a little bit. I add cornstarch to the mold, which is pretty necessary. And then I just press that clay down in there. Now you can see that at first I use a dowel as a rolling pin to really press it down. That was not necessary, and I get better at this the next times that I do this. So I realized my mistake pretty quickly there. The clay was sticking to the dowel and then it was squishing into the other molds that did not have the cornstarch. So I wised up and I just got this scraper here from the Dollar Tree, and I just scraped that excess clay off, which is what I should have done in the first place. I'm attempting to make a frame to go around this arch sign here, and I'm using my miter shears to miter the edges that need it. And I used Titebond to attach the clay, which worked very well. I made some mistakes in this project, but I learned several lessons. I don't work with clay. I have hardly ever worked with it on any projects, and I've certainly never used it like this. So I'm still glad I did the project. It taught me some things, and now I know better for next time. Whenever I would go to connect two pieces of the clay that was still soft, I dipped my paintbrush in some water and then just went over the connecting pieces, and it sort of merged the two pieces. It worked very well, and by the time I got done with this step, it looked very nice. As I was connecting the pieces, I knew it wasn't going to look perfect at this point, but that was okay. It was okay that it would look a little bit like an old frame. But then it dried, and it cracked and it shrunk a lot. And so I thought I was going to throw it away. So I didn't even show me attempting to fix it. I just thought to teach myself and to see what I could do with what happened. I thought maybe I could try to fix it, and I didn't show that part, but I just added some more clay in the spaces where the pieces of trim shrunk as it dried, because this air dry clay just shrinks a whole lot, and it cracked a whole lot. I almost threw it away, but when I got done with it and before I was going to throw it away, I thought I don't want to throw it away. I want to hang it up in my craft room. I liked it still enough, even though it was kind of messed up looking. So I'm still glad I made it, and I learned some lessons, and I can't wait to make some more clay projects. I hope you guys are doing well. I know that I missed a video, that there was, a 2-week span there where I didn't put out a video on time, and it's just been a little bit busy lately. You know how that goes. Life just happened, but I'm hoping that after the next couple of weeks, things will slow down a little bit. We do have a busy couple of weeks coming up, but I'll always at least put out a video every other week. But I'm hoping here in a few weeks that I will get back to, consistently every week, putting one out.
Tell me what my fate will be. Will the one I love be through all the while? Though it seems no longer the time, shall we never or forever make my dreams come true? Will the one whom I love be always mine?
But that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. See you in the next one.